Hey everybody, Paul James Caden here with the Spirit Side Journey Towards the Light. If you're here to watch the Spirit Tarot session for Psychic Bob Hickman, that video will follow this short presentation. Right now I would like to pay a little bit of a tribute to Bob. If you don't know who he was, some of you tuning in probably do. Some of you may not. He had a channel here on YouTube called Spirit Channel. Bob was a Wiccan, he was a former Catholic, and I believe he was a Christian spiritualist at one point. He respected everybody's beliefs and he did a wide range of videos. I remember a couple that he did about the mystical crucifix, and even a video about Mother Mary. He was very welcoming to everybody. There were a lot of Christians and Catholics and Buddhists and people from all religious backgrounds that followed his channel because that's what he wanted it to be. He wanted it to be a place where people who were seeking and people who loved and respected others could just gather and talk about spiritual and mystical topics. I didn't know Bob personally, but all of those who did know him say that he was a very humble, a very kind and friendly individual, and you can tell that through his videos. He had a sense of humor. He could be very quirky at times, but I certainly appreciated that about him. Bob passed away in late March of this year. I just learned of his passing 2 days ago. I was shocked. He was about my age, maybe a year or two older, in his mid-50s. No one's really sure what happened or what caused his passing. He posted a video not long before he passed away. So he will be sorely missed here on YouTube. Last year in August, April of 2022, we lost Brian Foster, who was the host of the Spiritism channel here on YouTube. And in March 2023, we lost Bob Hickman. And it's sad because these were two gentlemen. Brian Foster, you heard me talk about him before, and also Bob Hickman, or Psychic Bob as he liked to be called. They were channels that didn't have all of the drama, they didn't have all of the fear-mongering and negativity. It was just spirituality, kindness, mysticism, humor, learning. Very real, very conversational. And again, that was something that I really respected and appreciated about Psychic Bob Hickman. Again, I didn't know him personally. I bantered with him briefly on a couple of his videos in the comments, a number of years ago. And I popped into his live chat when he was doing some live readings on YouTube. And I got a couple readings from him, and he was spot on accurate. Like I said, he didn't know me or anything about me or my life, but the information that he picked up on, relatives in spirit, things about me, it was very accurate, very impressive. So he was obviously someone who was for real and who really loved what he did. His channel is still up, and I hope that it stays up even though he's passed away. If you haven't ever heard of Psychic Bob Hickman, it would behoove you to go watch his channel. It's Spirit Channel, Psychic Bob Hickman. Good stuff, no drama, just good positive energy. I always wanted to have Bob on my show. I think the two of us would have had a great conversation. But life gets busy, and I never got around to making that call or sending that email. And again, it's after the fact where you say, gee, I wish I had of, I thought about it enough times. I should have done it. But Bob is in spirit now, and as I said, he and his channel will be sorely missed. It seems all of the good people, all of the people that have really good hearts are leaving this world, and maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe there's some divine plan behind that, as some believe. But I just wanted to make this little tribute to pay my respect to Psychic Bob Hickman. He touched a lot of people's lives. He was a good man. Those who knew him say he was just a wonderful human being, and I think that certainly shines through in his video content. So Bob, rest in peace. God bless you, and we hope you're happy and peaceful in the divine light. Now, I just want to say before I get to the video presentation of the Tarot Spirit Session, this is something I don't usually do on my channel. The Spirit Sessions are something I do privately for my own practice. But when I found out that Bob had passed in March, I did a Spirit Session this last Saturday night to see if I could connect with Bob, and the information that came through was very interesting. Now, I didn't tape this session, I didn't record it. Like I said, this is a private practice that I do, but it was very interesting because I really felt Bob's presence. There were clicks and knocks in the room during the session, and I felt really compelled afterwards that Bob was saying, share the results and the information of this spirit session with people on YouTube. Now, maybe there's a reason for that, but I felt very compelled to do it. So I got my phone, I came downstairs, I just shot the video on the fly and shared the results of the information I picked up during that session. And the very interesting thing is, when I was done, I turned off the camera and I recorded this video through an app called GhostTube, and it has a motion sensor, an EMF reader, and also a word bank where it's, the theory is that the spirit can choose a word in that word bank and communicate with you. And I've gotten some interesting results with that app. And for whatever reason, I just felt compelled to record this video through the GhostTube app. And when I was done recording the results of the spirit session with the tarot, I turned off the camera, but I didn't turn off the app. And I said out loud, I said, well, Bob, there it is. I'll get it out Tuesday or Wednesday. And I sat the phone down next to me. And just at that moment, the EMF meter spiked. The phone started beeping. The EMF meter was going off. And it did this not only once, but 3 times. And there was nothing around me that would have set off the EMF meter. There were no outlets, no appliances, nothing electronic. It was at the dining room table, and it just spiked 3 times, and then it stopped. And I really took that to mean that Psychic Bob definitely heard me. He was there during that spirit session, and this was his approval saying, get this information out there and thank you. So what is following this little presentation is not the recorded spirit session, but the results, the information of that spirit session, where I'm going over the cards and the impressions that I got. And this is for Psychic Bob Hickman, and for whatever reason it is, whatever purpose it is to fulfill, I hope it does so for him. So now let's get into the Spirit Tarot session for Psychic Bob Hickman. All right, so this isn't something I usually do on my channel. This is usually a private practice that I do for myself in my own spiritual development as a spiritualist. And what I usually do about once a week is do what is called a tarot seance or a tarot spirit connection session. And after learning of the passing of Bob Hickman, I decided to see if I could connect with him this evening and see if there's anything I could ascertain about his passing, because no one really knows what happened to him. Some suspect there might have been some foul play involved. And after I finished the session this evening, I just felt really compelled to record the results and share them here on YouTube. And we'll talk a little bit about why that is once I interpret everything here and go through the cards and my spirit impressions. I do apologize if the camera's a little shaky. This is one of those videos done kind of on the fly. I'm just holding my cell phone, so it's, a little jiggly here. But bear with me. This was certainly an interesting session. So the first question I generally ask in these sessions is if the person I'm looking to connect with is with me. Are they there to communicate? And the card that I drew was the Seven of Swords. I immediately got the impression, as we see, this is a person walking, looking back. He's carrying swords. One of the traditional interpretations of this card is someone who is packing up and moving camp. So I immediately got the impression that this was Psychic Bob, as he liked to be called, was saying that he's packed up, he's moved on into spirit, but there's a lot he's carrying with him, carrying the swords. The swords usually represent our emotions, and I'm sorry for the glare of the light overhead. The swords usually represent our emotions, so I feel that there was some emotional baggage that he carried with him into spirit. Some things that are weighing heavy on his mind, on his heart, on his emotions. And he's looking back. I feel like he had or has some unfinished business. And perhaps there are things that he would like to have known about his passing. And there's those two swords in this card in the background. I feel like these represent two people that were not, let's just say that they were people that did not have Psychic Bob's best interest at heart. And I feel like this is one of the things perhaps he would like to have known through this session. And I did feel his presence very strongly during this session. I felt the emotion, I felt the presence, I felt the chills. Very strong presence tonight from Mr. Bob Hickman. And like I said, I feel like there's a lot he carried with him. And he's looking back because there are two people that are the cause of why he's carrying this emotional baggage, this unfinished business with him into the spirit world. The next question I asked was his passing natural causes, or did someone do harm to him? And as you can see, again, I'm sorry for the glare of the light overhead on the card. We have the Nine of Swords. This is an interesting card because right away we see the man sitting up in the bed holding his head. The swords are, around and above him. Bob Hickman always said that he was targeted and that he would often be awakened in the night feeling anxious, feeling like there was electricity shooting through his body, feeling tremendous pain. There would be burns on his body. Many of you probably know what a targeted individual is. They say they're targeted by energy weapons of some sort that disrupt the nervous system. And he said this would usually hit him in the night when he was trying to sleep. So I find this to be very interesting, this symbolism. And it really struck me with the impression that there were people that had something to do with his passing. Maybe not a straight up murder, although that's possible, or through what they were doing eventually just caused his heart to give out, his body to shut down, whatever these attacks were that he felt targeted, eventually just his body couldn't take anymore and he ended up passing away. It's difficult to look at this card and what I felt through this card because I do felt there was a level of fear and anxiety when he passed. Something happened and something was going on. I asked for greater clarity on this, and we got the Nine of Pentacles. So all of this had to do with money, possessions, reputation, jealousy of some sort. Perhaps there were people that were afraid something would come out that he knew. And I also got the impression through this card that one of the people, remember the two swords that are standing in the background, people that were responsible for this, people that were kind of at the forefront of this, and I feel that was a man and a woman. And I really got the impression that this woman is someone that was masquerading as a friend. She acted like she was someone who cared, someone who was there for him, but she was actually there to do him harm. Kind of a double agent, if you will. So this person definitely betrayed him in the end. And I don't think he knew that until his passing or after his passing, but he knows now. It was one of these people standing in the background. The next card, I generally ask the question, how do I connect with you in the future? Oh, no, I'm sorry. I got those two cards reversed. It was this one. How do I connect with you in the future? How do I... And I'm totally messing that up because I had the wrong card. The next question I asked, and I apologize for that. It's late and I'm shooting this video on the fly. The next question I ask, is there a message he has for me or something he would like to ask me to do for him? And we get the King of Cups. King of Cups, I got the impression that he's saying he's okay. He's in spirit. He feels the love and peace of the spirit world around him. He's all right. But I feel like he was saying he wants this unfinished business known. I felt he was impressing me to do this video, share these cards, share these impressions. This will bring him peace. This will make him feel like someone is doing something to bring about the truth, some kind of truth he wants known about these people that did this. So he's okay. He is in a good place, but he hasn't fully moved on. He wants this information out there. And so that's why I'm making this video. And then the final card. Again, I had this mixed up before. The final card is, I generally ask the way I was taught to do this. How do I connect with you in the future? How do I communicate with you in the future? And this is a very spiritual card, the Hierophant. And I just felt kind of in his classic upbeat, psychic Bob way. I kind of felt through this card. He was just saying, well, just do it. I'm always around. So I feel like he's very active in the spirit world. His work in helping people or trying to help people isn't done. I feel he is going to take on a role of helping others from spirit. So Psychic Bob Hickman will still be with us and trying to do some good in this crazy world. But he wanted this information out there. And yeah, maybe it sounds a little odd to some of the folks that watch my channel. Like I said, I usually don't do this sort of thing or advertise it or post it or make videos about it, but I felt really, really compelled, just like heavily compelled to do this. Like he was saying, do this for me. Since I made connection with him, he's saying, okay, you wanted to contact me. I'm here. Could you please do this for me? This would bring me peace. So like I said, I didn't know Bob Hickman. He did a couple of readings for me on his live YouTube, videos. I had some minor banter with him probably a few years ago in the comments of some of his videos on his channel. I didn't know him. I didn't know him well. I don't know anything about his personal life. So if anybody out there does know him, did know him, had any kind of contact and communication with him, if any of this makes sense to you about these people and what happened and the jealousy and for money and reputation and whatever else and the being targeted, If you know anything about this, have any suspicions about this, any evidence about this, maybe drop me a line. Leave a comment. I'll put my email in the video description. You can email me privately if that's more comfortable. I don't know that we'll ever solve the whole thing, but at least there are some people who will know. And I think at the very least, that's what he wants. That's what brings him peace and contentment. So that's all for this video. I wanted to share. Like I said, I just felt really impressed to do this, and so I'm honoring those wishes. If anybody knows anything, anybody knows any details, this makes sense to anybody out there that knew Bob. Like I said, I didn't know him. Maybe drop me a comment or an email and, let me know. This was a pretty heavy session. Definitely was. So that's all for now. I thank everybody for watching. I wish you peace, and may Bob Hickman, Psychic Bob, rest in peace.